deal has? And then can you just describe broadly what you guys were trying to accomplish in any trade for Chris Paul?
Actually, I'd leave that to Dell to take a shot at.
Sure. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry. Hey there, how are you? What about this deal tonight that you guys have made is superior to the one that was rejected a week ago?
I think this transaction here gives the team a long-term foundation. We're getting some exciting young players in the program that we'll get to develop, and we have the opportunity to add more. And I think for the long-term future of the New Orleans Hornets, this is the best move.
Again, folks, if you could give your affiliation when you're opened up, Howard obviously is with the New York Times. Next question, Colin.
And that is from the line of Sean Bevany with the Sporting News. Please go ahead.
Hey, I'm just wondering, Eric Gordon is eligible for a contract extension. Is that something that the league in this capacity would be willing to discuss, or is that something that's going to have to wait for a new owner?
The team is authorized to have any discussion that any other team can have. And so the answer to your question is it can happen with current ownership or it can wait. It depends upon the player's choice.
But ultimately, you would have the final say on that, David?
I have to sign off on all major transactions.
Thank you.
And our next question is from the line of Dan Rovell with CNBC. Please go ahead.
Hi guys, David, this question is for you. How concerned were you, and obviously you said that you couldn't comment to this point, but how concerned were you with public perception? You've obviously dealt with it before in playoffs and conspiracy theories and this and that. So as you started to hear things, how did you react and how concerned are you with that?
I knew that we were doing the best thing for New Orleans. That was my job. And when you do what I've been doing for something, dealing with the NBA for I guess approaching 40 years, you have to stick with what you think is right. And I must confess it wasn't a lot of fun, but I don't get paid to have fun. Even though I generally do have fun.
Thank you.
And once again, if there are any questions, please press star, then 1 at this time. And we have a question from the line of Scott Howard Cooper from NBA.com. Please go ahead.
David, I wanted to clarify something. You said that there had been some discussion about other teams being involved in this transaction. How far did those conversations go? And at what point does that have to strike everybody as a massive conflict of interest?
Actually,
what do you mean by discussion with other teams? That was the first trade where there was a discussion with other teams.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking. I wanted to clarify that. I thought that you had said so other teams had a voice.
No, what I said was I said exactly the opposite, Scott. I have received these emails from 2 owners on this subject, both of which I felt totally free to disregard because it doesn't comport with my view of the job. And that when we bought the team, there was some discussion of whether other owners should be involved in deciding upon transactions because they all owned 129th. And it was decided by both the audit committee and the advisory finance committee that would not be a tenable arrangement and that it was best that I be the person to sign off on all transactions. There were no other teams involved at all. And in fact, I always thought that the owners were punishing me for making the recommendation to buy the team.
Thank you for the clarification.
And our next question is from the line of Bradley Handwerger, and he is with WWL TV. Please go ahead.
We're here on a conference here at the arena, but this is John Reed from the Times-Picayune in New Orleans, and my question is to all three, if I can get a response to whoever want to respond. But what happened with the situation that we thought that the deal that the Clippers had pulled out
I'm taking a
of the
shower.
deal?
I'm taking a shower
And
for
what
15 minutes.
kind of just
in and
talk
out,
about
and then
what
I'm gonna
prompted
turn it
the
off.
conversation to resume and
Yeah.
what happened after that?
Want to stay on? I'm taking a shower. You can hear me.
This is Del Demps. I think in any negotiation, you go back and forth, and everybody's trying to get the best deal. And I don't want to divulge all the conversations and all the talk, but in most negotiations, it's a give and take, and then we were able to find a common ground, and that's the most important thing. I think both teams are happy with the outcome, and in any trade, sometimes you feel like you gave a little too much, and I think that's just what happens in trades.
Was there a sticking point with Eric Gordon? Was there any situation that he had to be included?
Well, let's not talk too much about how the sausage was made, but Dell was trying to get and advising us, that he was trying to get the most that was possible. I know there was some criticism of the Hornets for seeking too much in both the first pick and Gordon, but I think at the end of the day,
Right, want to go away? See where right on?
Paul's caliber, the Hornets were not seeking too much, and I think the Clippers agreed.
They initially sent something out saying that that the deal was too much for them to do. I mean, the original deal.
I don't think they sent it out. I think it was blogged and tweeted, but I didn't see anything from the Clippers that said that, John.
It was on their website, and their general manager was on there with an interview on their website. He said that.
Well, I guess welcome to the NBA. Life is a continuous negotiation, and people say lots of things. And there were lots of things said in the last 4 business days about this trade and the previous trade, and I think the good news now is that everybody is free, without regard to how we got here, to take their shots up or down of whether this is a good trade for the Hornets, given their decision to accommodate Chris Paul's wish and get compensation for that by this trade or not. And I think that's what basketball is about, to have those conversations.
Our next question is from the line of John DeSazier from New Orleans Times-Picayune. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is for first part is for the commissioner and also for Dell. If this trade was what was being sought, all along, and there was harmonious communication between the Hornets and the commissioner's office, why was the first trade even submitted to be, turned down? And also for Dell, have you guys spoken to Eric, gotten any assurances from him about, I guess, his future plans or anything? Because certainly the franchise doesn't want to be in this position with him in a couple of years.
To your first question, in trades in NBA, there's so many different options, and there's so many different things that come about. And as a general manager, you present those different options to ownership, and that's just how it goes when you're working hand in hand. As far as us communicating with Eric Gordon, we have not done it at this time. We're excited to get him in here, and we want to sit down and talk to him and tell him about us and tell him about the program and how he's going to be a big part of it.
I think the future of the Hornets in New Orleans is looking better today than it's ever looked before, and I'm very excited about that, because I think the NBA sort of implicitly made representations to the community that it would do the best it could, providing Hugh and Jack with additional support on the marketing side, giving Dell whatever he needed from a basketball advice, and actually within approved budgets, supporting the team financially. We feel that we're well on in accomplishing that goal.
And our next question is from the line of Brian Mahoney, and he is with the Associated Press. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi guys. Either for David or Dell. Last Thursday night, when it got out that there was a deal agreed upon, and then obviously it was killed, was there any miscommunication as far as what the Hornets were allowed to do before it got to the commissioner's office? How did this all play about that a deal was thought to be done when it wasn't really done?
Dell never thought the deal could be done, and those who said that, all for attribution off the record, were trying to force him to make that deal. But Dell came to us in the normal course. He was presenting lots of different options and opportunities. He then presented this one and to Jack and me, and we said that we weren't ready to sign off on that one at that time. He said, "Okay, we got lots of we have a very valuable player, and let's go